This is the Weekly Geek News Show, episode 19th, and today is February 13th, 2015. I am your host, Mike Lewis. I'm the geek of many things and the master of none of them, and I am here with Aaron and Philip. Say hello.
Hello.
We're back. They are back because nobody complained about them last week. So if you want to complain about them this week. So this is a special Valentine's Day edition. So this is a show where, we review the news from the past week in tech and pop culture. We pack those pieces of news into chocolate goodness and pack into a heart-shaped box.
With nuts on top.
No nuts, but maybe caramel.
Caramel on top.
Okay, caramel.
Salted caramel.
Well, thank you for listening to today's show. Like it, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends and family, make them listen to it, force headphones on their ears. And also...
While they're sleeping.
Yes, because it is Valentine's. All right, so anyways.
The gift of geek.
If you'd like to, I have started a new Tumblr blog for this show. You can follow the news on this Tumblr blog at weeklygeeknewsshow.tumblr.com. And throughout the week, I will make a habit of posting the shows that we will talk about on Friday. So it's just easier for me to post them, and you can follow along. Also, I post the video on YouTube of the show. And with that, let's not hold this show up any longer. Let's get on with the news. Not a whole lot of news this week, but the news that we do have is pretty big and I think very important. First off, Spider-Man, as I have talked about in the past shows and kind of predicted, is coming to Disney-controlled Marvel movies.
Yes!
So about time. Spider-Man will appear in the Marvel film in the near future. Well, outside of his own film, probably Civil War, and then his own film, which will both studios say is a new creative direction for the web slinger. Most likely will not get an origin story, and the character might be even younger. Sony will still retain the movie rights and most of the profit to the character, but this could be seen as a sharing of Spider-Man. So they came to an agreement. So we kind of seen that as a joint custody with certain rights, or visitation rights, I guess. According to the Wall Street Journal, Spider-Man will most likely appear in the upcoming Captain America Civil War film, which I'm very excited about because that will be just like the comic, and I enjoyed the Civil War comic series. And Spider-Man was right in the middle. He was kind of the character that you were, your point of view, you're getting torn between Tony Stark and Iron Man and then Captain America. So he was the guy from your point of view. So after that, he will be appearing in his own movie.
Which is pretty awesome. I'm going to take over now because the question everyone has on their mind is, how is this going to affect other movies? I know that was the first thing I thought of when I found this out. First of all, there's going to be a change of dates in future movies to make room for Spider-Man films. That's okay, we're willing to share. Spider-Man is going to take the release date for Thor Ragnarok of July 28th, 2017. So things are going to adjust around a little bit, and the rest of the Marvel films will also be pushed back to make room for the film. The Sinister Six film, which features the villains, is still in development, but it will also be delayed until November 2016.
Now, just a side note really quick, sorry to interrupt. The Sinister Six film is one that's being created by Sony by themselves, not be controlled by Marvel Disney's side.
Andrew Garfield, I'm very sorry to say, some people are going to be disappointed, will not be returning as Peter Parker. Disney wants to go younger with the actor who's going to be playing Peter Parker's Spider-Man. They are considering Dylan O'Brien from The Maze Runner, or possibly Logan Lerman from Fury. Marvel and Disney also... Oh, sorry, go ahead. Your turn.
Oh, thank you.
Go ahead.
This is the day of stepping on each other's sections of the news.
Just Spider-Man. It makes me excited.
Continuing on with Marvel and Disney. Disney has approached Angelina Jolie to direct the Captain Marvel movie. They want a female director to give kind of a feminine point of view for a very iconic female action hero. And they were impressed with Unbroken, so they thought she might do a good job in this role. The reports say that Disney has offered $20 million to Angelina to direct the film.
For $20 million, I'll get my wife to do it.
I would do it for $5. I'm just telling you right now. I would do it for $5.
No, not 5.
So,
7.5.
Okay.
Also under the Disney tent, Disney has offered Ryan Gosling, is it Gosling or Gosling? I always think of a duck.
Gosling.
The role of the Beast in the live-action Beauty and the Beast film.
Oh, he's not going to be the Beauty?
No, that's actually going to be Emma Watson. has been previously cast before. Belle, this will be based off the 1991 animated musical, and reports say this will also be a musical, and also makes us wonder, we have never heard Ryan Gosling or Emma Watson sing before, so how well are they going to do?
Disney hits?
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Netflix and Nintendo are teaming up to make a live-action Zelda series. We had a comment from last week's show from Dionavan, and he said, I'm surprised the announcement of a Legend of Zelda live-action original series by Netflix didn't make the list for last week, or maybe that's old news and he was late for the information party. Actually, no. That news came out almost immediately after we recorded the show, so it wasn't that you were late, it was just that it was a timing issue.
We were early.
We were early.
We don't procrastinate.
We don't.
On the Weekly Geek News Show, we're on top of it.
Excellent. Netflix.
At least weekly.
Netflix announced that it is raising $1.5 billion to fund new content, and they are working with Nintendo to develop a live-action Legend of Zelda, which would be made for family audiences. Sources say that the series is in early development, and that's a quote. We don't have any writers, directors, or actors yet, but it has been described as a Game of Thrones for family audiences.
Wait, so Zelda's the name of the adventure, right?
No,
just joking.
And their kid is...
Yeah. Who's this Link guy?
My name is not Zelda.
Princess Link?
Yeah.
Yes, Princess Link and the Adventurer Zelda.
Okay, so moving on to movies. Lionsgate wants to do more movies in the Hunger Games world because splitting one book into 2 movies is not enough. We need to...
It's no longer enough.
As long as we can get money out of these things, we will milk them to death.
Of course.
So they don't care if it's a prequel or a sequel. They're looking at both options. This has been their biggest moneymaker since the Twilight series, and it's almost over. So they're trying to look for their next lunch ticket. So they're getting desperate. Lionsgate, if you are that desperate, let me tell you, take me out for pizza and throw in a movie. I will write that for you, and it'll be at least as good as. Okay, no, I have to admit, Hunger Games have been done pretty well, but I will write it for you anyways. Just pizza and a movie.
It makes you wonder also how much they would get the original author of the books involved in the storyline, since it is her characters. It makes, I don't know, maybe they have full movie rights. There will also be a live-action Robotech movie coming back into development. This has been going in and out of production. People have been wanting to do it, and then they fall away from it. Deadline is now reporting that a Robotech live-action series is once again in development, with G.I. Joe, Rise of the Cobra writer to pen the script.
Surprised they got that for him. Didn't he win a couple Oscars after that?
Yeah, I never saw the G.I. Joe movies.
I'm wondering if there's
definitely
a macro,
Oscar material.
I'm wondering if there's a macro now in Word that when they start writing the script for this, when they write in the word director, it automatically replaces it with Michael Bay.
Probably.
I hope
maybe
not.
When the explosion appears on the script, and they're like, oh no, Michael.
Moving on to comic news, Marvel is creating an all-female Avengers team. She-Hulk, Dazzler, Medusa, Jean Grey, Elektra, and others are going to be part of the team. The team and the comic series will be called A-Force. A for awesome.
Or Avengers. I don't know.
No. Awesome. Women, awesome. In the story, the former Avengers team is missing, and it is up to the all-female team to fight the bad guys, or possibly girls. This is going to be the first time ever that there is an all-female Avengers team.
Continuing in comic books, Marvel has added a lot to Scribd. Scribd is a digital...
I think it's Scribed. I think it's Scribed.
Scribd.
It's a problem with reading things, not hearing people say them out loud.
It's like Tumblr.
Tumblr.
I like Scribd.
Flickr.
It sounds cute. Like I put on Scribd.
Okay, Scribed.
Scribd is a digital library featuring an ebook, just one. No, an ebook, audiobook, and comic book subscription service that includes New York Times bestsellers and classics. Hundreds of Marvel comics are being made available.
More than 100.
It's just kind of making them the Netflix of comic books. They're primarily an ebook subscription service. Been beefing up their comic book library, and it's featuring comics from other publishers as well. $8.99 a month, and I'm liking this news because I'm getting tired of going to movies and having to have my wife explain the background of the comic book characters to me.
I also point out whenever Stanley is there, he's also getting tired of that.
I can recognize Stan Lee.
No, you can't.
Yes.
You just think you can.
Wait, Stanley or Stan Lee?
Stan Lee.
Stanley.
All right, so moving on to tech news, Google is giving away 2 gigabytes of storage in Google Drive if you go and check your security settings. This promotion will run until February 17th as part of Safer Internet Day, and I don't know why I don't get work off for this.
I think we should actually.
My kids probably get school off because they get everything off.
It's important.
Google guides you. Well, they'll guide you through the security checks for your Google account and they'll guide you through the privacy settings, security settings, etc. That will include the passwords and recovering settings. However, if you want more than 2 gigabytes...
Not to be outdone, Microsoft is going to be offering way more. 100 gigabytes.
A lot more than 2.
Yes, 100 is more than 2. I've recently established
50
this.
times more.
I don't think that's
I got it on my calculator.
Okay. Of free storage. So 100 gigabytes free storage for 2 years if you sign up for Bing Rewards. You have to be a U.S. resident, and you have to sign up for a Bing Rewards account, which means that you have to sign up for a Microsoft account. If you've already got one, this isn't going to be an issue. If not, you're going to have to come up with a new cool email name. They're hoping for users to start using Bing and Microsoft's other services as part of the promotion. However, the 100 gigabytes is only going to last for 2 years. I mean, you get the storage, and then I guess it's going to disappear into digital la-la land after that.
So if you've gone up past the free version, then of course they want you to think, well, now I got to pay for it because I don't want to lose all my information, all my data. So
yeah, it's kind of like a cheap ploy.
It's not too
Yep.
bad of an idea if it's a good service after 2 years. And you're like, yeah, this is comparable to
it allows people to use it for a while.
I don't think it's too bad of a business move.
I feel bait and switched.
Continuing in tech news and changing gears to a more like, holy cow, we're all going to die someday. Boston Dynamics has created a new mobile 4-legged robot. I've seen the video on this, and it is incredible, but it makes me... I know it can run faster than me, so it makes me scared for the robot revolution. It's designed for indoor and outdoor operation, electrically powered and hydraulically actuated. It's only 160 pounds, which sounds like a lot, but compared to the other versions of this and the competition, that's just minuscule. Ability to keep balance when on rough terrain or when kicked. And if you watch the video, you just see people coming out of cubicles and kicking this thing like it offended their mother, and it just bounces right back up, which is also why I'm scared for the robot revolution.
So if you look away from the screen, watch right now because I'm showing it right now. So it's pretty neat stuff. I'd want to kick it just to see it stumble.
Put a kick me sign on
That's
the
a
back.
shirt I want. It says, I kick it.
So if it doesn't actually work as a robot, it will be used exclusively for a high-end stress-relieving device.
You use that at work,
You just
yes.
kick it.
Just this morning, breaking news, Mattel has teamed up with Google to create a new virtual reality Viewmaster.
Yes!
So this is familiar-looking plastic body as we had when we were kids. You slide a smartphone into the top instead of, those rings, discs that we had earlier, and also turn on an app to enter a virtual reality world for entertainment and education. You can look at a plastic reel that you set down on the table that looks similar to the plastic reels from the past. And different reels will provide different experiences, like maybe a location, Egypt, pyramids. I want to explore a cartoon-y version of San Francisco or something like that. This will be available in the fall, so you have to wait for a while. But this is only available for $30 for a starter pack that comes with the Viewmaster and various reels. Well, the most expensive part of this virtual reality is your phone. So, you have to pay $600 for that. But you already may already have a smartphone to add to the Viewmaster. You can then add extra reel packs for $15. Pretty awesome. I'm excited to use this. I'll probably get one and let my kids play with it. We're on trips and they'll get seasick and throw up. So anyways, that is all for the news for this week. But just we want to go into comment mode and discuss things a little bit. We're also always thankful for your comments on either an email form at weeklygeeknewsshow@gmail.com. Also in the comments of the videos that you can put below. We talked about Jonovan. Is it Jonovan? Jonovan earlier. And also Michael Mitchell, another viewer, wrote in the comments that he said, quote, not only, and he was talking about the Radio Shack. I almost said Rite Aid. Radio Shack going out of business, going to bankruptcy. And Philip had his own thoughts last week. And Michael wrote in, quote, not only do we not understand some of that stuff,
referring to the
Radio
stuff
Shack,
at Radio Shack, electronics.
The sales staff at Radio Shack don't either. I took a computer music class a couple years ago and was looking for resistors, and the guy had no clue what I was talking about. It was very discouraging. No, my wife calls me a tech elitist when I walk into a Best Buy because I feel like I know more than these guys. I've got a degree in computer science. I do tech help all the time at work, and these guys try to sell me something and tell me things I know is not true because I follow this stuff online as well. But Philip, you were pretty passionate about this week. How do you feel about that, going into a place like that and people not knowing what they are selling?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you compare that with places like Home Depot and Lowe's, they really educate their employees. They give them classes on, okay, well, you're going to be working in the lumber section. Well, let us give you classes so you know what you're talking about when somebody comes and asks you, what should I use? Should I use an oriented strand board? Should I use, they really educate them, and you expect that the people in the store are going to be able to help you out, get you that extra mile that you need to go to get whatever project you have done. And I think it just goes along with the whole. They need to be the experts on their product. They need
well, you expect that. You expect when you walk into a GameStop that you say, well, have you played this? What do you think about it? They're going to give you some advice. They're going to give you some suggestions.
And if the guy behind the counter said, oh, I'm not a gamer, you'd be like, why are you here? They don't pay you nearly enough to do it.
It's almost as obnoxious as when I go into Sally's and I ask them about a new OPI collection, and they just say they've got no idea what I'm talking about.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's okay. You don't.
Our female subscribers just shot through the roof. They're like, oh,
that's not true either.
It's over 9,000.
Something to do with nails, I'm assuming.
No.
Hardware nails. No.
But yeah, you want to have. That's got to be the experience, the shared experience there. You're learning. You want to go. The experience that you need to have is that you go into the store and you're like, hey, this is a hobby. This is I'm going in to get the parts for something that I don't know completely about, but I'm learning about it. It's not for work. It's not for a project that I'm going to be graded on or anything like that. It's just because I really enjoy it. And that connection would come in when you go in and someone can see where you're at right now and be like, oh yeah, let me give you some advice there. So I think Michael Mitchell's absolutely right.
We feel your pain. We know what you're talking about is what we're saying.
Yeah.
So, and it's another reason that we understand Radio Shack's downfall was inevitable.
Yes. Moving on, let's get back to the Spider-Man coming to Marvel movies that are controlled by the Disney World. Oh, not Disney World. I mean the world.
I want to go to Disney World.
Exactly.
The company.
The company
the
of
Disney universe.
I am very excited about this because, it's so weird to have Marvel, but then you have two of the most popular franchises not in this.
Spider-Man and Fantastic Four.
Well, no, I'm talking about Spider-Man and X-Men, really. Spider-Man and X-Men not be involved in the current going-ons at the Disney side of the movies. Spider-Man has been in the Fantastic Four. He has been a part of X-Men. He's been a part of the Avengers. He's always around, ready to get involved in some sort of fight with all the different, or help out in a fight with all the different heroes.
Him and Hulk are BFFs.
He's in New York, and Avengers is in New York, and Fantastic Four is in New York. However, those lines never cross, and there was talks earlier about in the Spider-Man movie putting the Tony Stark Tower or the Avengers Tower in the background, just kind of an homage to what was going on in the other side of the Marvel movies. But this is really cool because it almost feels like we're complete now. We're all together as a family, even though Sony still retains the rights. They're allowing, and I think they're very happy about this for Disney to come in and put Spider-Man in the movies.
They're nowhere near as happy as the fans are. I know so many fans are just gritting their teeth saying, where is Spider-Man? Why wouldn't he be here right now? Where is Tony Stark? Why wouldn't he be here right now?
Right.
We kind of have, different perspectives here. I've read the Civil War series, crossover series from Marvel Comics.
No spoilers.
It was really great, but Spider-Man is right in the middle of that. And when Disney could not get the rights to put Spider-Man in that movie because Sony is holding back, then they had to rewrite the story to have maybe somebody different to come in and be the middleman between the two sides, and not knowing who. Peter Parker's kind of more the innocent kid, doesn't know which side to take sometimes. He has Captain America, who he looks up to, Tony Stark, who he looks up to as well.
Which might be a reason why Disney has opted for a younger actor going in, so that it's not like, well, why wouldn't you be making choices? You're an adult and a superhero. Go ahead and make those choices. With a younger Spider-Man, it makes him a better character to play that middleman.
I think something that the both of you would miss, just because I like comic books. I enjoy them, and if they are within my vicinity, I'll read them. But I've only purchased 2 in my entire life. I've only read the ones that other people that.
You're talking about the ones you purchased for me?
Actually, no, 4, because for Erin, I got her some Guardians of the Galaxy ones for Christmas. But I don't know all this stuff about the backgrounds. Hence the being embarrassed by my wife having to tell me the backgrounds when we go into the movie theater. But for me, when I watch the Spider-Man movies and I watch the Avengers movies, I don't even put them in the same universe.
They're a different feeling, right?
And not just that it's 2 different companies making it, but I just don't connect them. I think, okay, this is an alternate reality where the Avengers don't exist, or during the Avengers movie, oh yeah, Spider-Man doesn't exist here. It's Like, so for me, this is like, oh, really? Oh, okay. Civil what? Okay.
Civil what?
So
Yeah.
what I'm getting at from a business
Well, in the 1800s.
from a business perspective, though, I think it's going to be an interesting challenge for Disney and Sony to make this make sense to the people like me who haven't read those comic books. They're going to be like, wait, this doesn't feel right because I'm used to Spider-Man being completely on his own, until Harry gets a change of heart and helps him out and dies. But
in the last 5 minutes.
In the last 5 minutes of the movie.
of the movie. You know,
Oh, we're not talking about that movie. Never talk about that
we
movie.
never talk about that movie.
I've got 2 things about this I wanted to bring up. Are you done?
I'm done with that part.
That's
yeah.
enough of you. No. But, okay, 2 things. Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield. Who is your favorite Peter Parker of those 2?
I gotta say, until the third movie, I liked Tobey Maguire better. I liked his overall Spider-Man-ness. I did like Andrew. He was good. I liked him as he was, but
Okay.
I preferred Tobey.
I liked the second one. I like Tobey Maguire, but I like the second one, Andrew
Garfield?
Garfield guy. Because I don't know if this is acted or if this is just the way he talks, but I love his speech impediment. They
I
didn't
don't think
give,
it was a speech impediment.
It's just the way he talks.
It's the way he talks.
It's
Okay,
just-
well, Andrew,
he's British, if you didn't know that. He's
congratulations
actually
on your
doing an American
wonderful,
accent. So.
Congratulations on your wonderful speech impediment. It made it more believable to me. I'd be like, yeah, this could be someone who could get made fun of because he has a hard time speaking, and so and not that I
Well,
won't.
it's not nearly as stilted as you imagine it was, though.
No, but it gave a reason,
A reason for him being a nerd besides, hey, you're actually kind of a cool,
Besides, hey, you wear
good-looking
glasses.
guy.
But you wear glasses.
To me, Tobey Maguire is always whiny, and that's what really bugged me about Tobey Maguire. And I just couldn't get over that. And Andrew Garfield, I preferred him because he could be nerdy, but also you can relate to him, and he was funnier with his quick,
he was
quips.
quirky.
He was more quippy
Well,
at the characters.
Some
It's
of
like,
that
oh
is
no,
gonna be-
a knife,
The-
my
the thing
worst
is,
Some of
enemy.
that is going to be the writing, though.
Yeah,
that's
Remember
true,
that.
but
it just
is
came
gonna
out
be
more
the writing.
naturally with Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, I agree, and I agree with him. You know how you get when you put on a Halloween mask or something where people aren't going to, or a mascot or something, it's people that aren't going to know who you are, and all of a sudden you loosen up because you're like, well, whatever I do, no one's gonna make fun of me later because they have no idea who I am. So he changes when he puts on the mask. When he takes off the mask, he's kind of goes back to his stuttering. When he puts on the mask, then he's like,
It allows you to get out of your shell in a way because no one knows who
and
you
it was
are.
believable.
Interesting psychological
But I
commentary.
did like both of them.
Yeah. I enjoyed both of them. I'm not saying I didn't like Tobey Maguire, but I just enjoyed Andrew Garfield more.
That's okay. We can still be friends.
Yeah.
Are you done?
And the sad
No.
thing the sad thing is that we're not going to be able to see
Andrew Garfield.
no redhead. What's her name? Jane.
Mary
Mary
Jane
Jane.
Watson.
Mary Jane and that.
Mary Jane
that
Watson.
version
You're not
of it,
going to be
yeah.
able to see her in
Yeah.
the world that they created. So, but anyways,
The last. Well, do you have anything else on that?
well, I'm just glad. Most likely, we're not going to see another origin story.
Yeah, I think
Everybody
we've
gets
had
it.
enough
We don't see
Spider-Man
these
origin
rehashed
stories
movies
for the
again.
last 15
and
years.
that's exactly where I was wanting to go on it, because I think like when you have your nerve endings in your body, and if you hit yourself in the thumb with a hammer enough, it stops hurting because the nerve has fired to the point where it can't fire anymore. Not that I suggest you do that. Don't try this at home. But same thing with tickling. If someone's tickling you, eventually just stop it. It's not funny anymore.
So origin stories are like hitting yourself with a hammer or being tickled. Is what
Yes,
you're
well, what
saying.
I'm saying is, I think the American population, because we connect so, and it's true, we connect really well with Spider-Man. I think it's like that. We're like, yay, my Spider-Man nerve is going off, my spider sense is going off, and I'm really enjoying this. And I think we just went directly from Tobey Maguire to Andrew Garfield, Anthony Garfield.
That's right.
Guy.
You got it right. Good job, honey.
And I think that Spider-Man nerve is dead. So that's another challenge I think that they've got to get around.
Well,
people are like, yay, Spider-Man.
But he's not going to be in his own movie right away. They're going to fit him into the Captain America Civil
I
War
think
movie.
it's gonna be a good
So
way of
hitting
getting
yourself
it
in
in
the
there.
thumb a little bit lighter and then harder again. I mean, that's what I'm.
I think more of it's scratching an inch. First time it feels good. You keep scratching it, it turns red, and you lose lust again. That's the only thing. Okay, so
red like Spider-Man.
another thing
Red
I was
like
going to
the
say
bite.
about different houses of Marvel. You got Disney, Sony, Paramount, and Fox. I'm a huge X-Men fan. I loved Uncanny X-Men in the '90s and Joe Madureira doing the art. My favorite artist back then. I don't like the movies that much. It's just a darker feeling. I love how the Disney Marvel side of things, they will go with brighter colors on the costume, where the Fox is so dark and they just use these blacks and grays. And like, this is so ugly. Put some color into the costumes, and guess what? You can get away with it. Disney's got away with it in the Avengers movies just fine. Look at the bright colors on the bright greens of the Hulk, and also the gold and red of Tony Stark,
and then
Iron
Thor's
Man.
costume. You just
Thor's costume, this bright red cape.
You throw out a joke about it, and it's all of a sudden it's all right.
Well, and then look at Warner Brothers with their Superman, dark blue, these dark reds. Like, why are you using such dark colors? These are heroes. Bright colors mean heroes in comics, and I miss that.
Classically speaking, though, a lot of DC fans are gonna. And I'm not saying DC fans are bad. They're going to say that their universe feels superior because it feels more realistic. It feels more gritty. It feels more serious, whereas the Marvel universe frequently does feel a little bit more
I'm trying
whimsical.
to escape. It's escapism. It's not. I'm trying to escape life when I go.
And a lot of
like
people prefer their escapism with a little bit lighter flavor. And making everything gritty isn't necessarily going to make it better, but neither is a gritty realism in comic books a bad thing. I happen to like both.
Oh yeah, I do too. Exactly. I don't like the feeling of the Fox X-Men movies, and I'm getting sick of the Wolverine movies as well. I don't know. Different direction, I think. No, I do like Hugh Jackman, but I don't know.
I loved him in Night of
For a guy who's not supposed to age, Logan sure has aged over the last 15 years if you look at the differences.
It's unfortunate, but it's a reality.
So, that's all I have for discussion right now on Spider-Man. Does anybody else have anything else that they want to talk about?
Well, the only thing I wanted to talk about was The Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, go right ahead.
I wanted to talk about The Legend of Zelda. I wanted to talk about Netflix and how much I love this trend in entertainment. I love the fact that Netflix has original series which are getting Emmys. I love the fact that Netflix is developing new content, that people are coming to Netflix and being like, yeah, I want to watch that Netflix show. What I'm really hoping is that this whole thing, and not just The Legend of Zelda, who Ryan Gosling should be playing, not just The Legend of Zelda, not Zelda. Oh yes, the princess. Ryan would make such a wonderful Zelda, and I can play Link. And what I really like about it is this whole trend to on-demand entertainment through the internet. I want cable companies to say, you know what, we realize our traditional model isn't working, so we're going to provide online subscription services. You want HBO, you pay $10 a month, you got your HBO streaming. You want the Food Network, you've got your Food Network streaming. Instead of you have to go to a cable company and pay $150 a month for most of the channels that you don't want to see the one thing that you do want. And I think that once they start switching to this format, I think it's going to stop a lot of the piracy, and it's not going to completely stop BitTorrent. Nothing stops BitTorrent. BitTorrent is forever.
But if you ease the access for a user, they're going to use it. They don't mind paying $15, $20 a month for something.
And that to that point of the cost per month, the vindictive, unforgiving side of me is really wanting them to go the way of Sam Goody. Like, you cheated us for years. You eat
now
your
you die.
You sit there and you eat it.
I like the innovation and the new direction that we're taking right now with Netflix and Amazon, and even Hulu has some of their own series. I don't get into Hulu very much, but the thing I'm worried about is most of these original contents. You go to them, it says MA, matured audience.
It does seem like it's
a lot.
Yeah, there's not a lot of original
House of
content.
Cards,
that's
MA, all this other stuff, MA. They're not getting a lot of family-oriented stuff. There's kids stuff. That either you get the cartoons, like I think Netflix did a series of How to Train Your Dragons that was exclusive to Netflix, Turbo as well, and that was kids, and then you go to the other side, MA, mature audience. I want something I can sit down and watch with my kids, that's
there's not necessarily a juicy cartoon show with fluffy talking flowers.
Well, no, I'm talking about like just a fun action adventure thing I can sit down and watch with my daughter who's 13. It's something a little more mature.
But cover your eyes.
Yeah, but. And so I'm glad that they're doing this series of Zelda, and it says this is supposed to be like the Game of Thrones for family adventures. You can watch this as a family, and that's great because
I would also accept Hugh Jackman as Link.
The other thing. See, the thing about Netflix and Amazon, they don't have to abide to any codes, and they're not getting rated by R, PG-13, PG and G. They're not getting they don't have to adhere to certain guidelines for normal television. ABC, NBC, CBS, and so they can get away with a lot more because no one controls them, which is great for art.
Well, do you think this kind of thing is going to herald a rating system administration for the internet?
It could be, and they're using the same thing they use on normal TV, like MA or T and E.
They try to identify
and that's good, but because they can get away with so much, there's just so much MA out there, which is great for people who really like the artistic MA stuff and want to get away with anything because the artist should not be constrained. That's true, but I want to see more.
Wonderful thing about the internet is that we're going to be able to place our consumer vote directly. You don't have to answer a survey to say what you're watching. You go onto YouTube and you see exactly how many views something has gotten, how many likes it's gotten.
And so Netflix has exactly the number of times that's been clicked on.
When someone hits that sweet spot of a well-written, fun-to-watch story that you can watch with your family, then go on and watch it and like it. So that's the way that we'll be able to have that voice heard. I wanted to say about the whole just the revolution in how we get our entertainment. We don't have cable. We haven't had cable for several years now. We have Netflix, which we watch everything a few years after everybody's talked about it around the water cooler. But
we also have Amazon Prime, so we use they've got some stuff too.
But we haven't used either of those things for the last 2 weeks because we've been watching Tobuscus on Toby Games play The Last of Us. And laughing hysterically on YouTube. And I think, it's part of the revolution. We're going to be getting it in bite-sized chunks. You're going to be able to have more and more choices, and you'll be able to place your consumer vote that way.
Well, and you can see even channels are getting into this with their own apps. Disney app, ESPN app, where you can get on and you can watch what you want, where you want, when you want to watch it, from whatever device you want to. And you also have the Sling service now that $20 a month you can get 30 channels, and they're adding more and more, and it's a monthly fee. You don't have to do a contract, you can cancel anytime. So the writing is on the wall for traditional feeding of media to us.
We're coming for you,
and they realize that they're trying to find a way to be to stay profitable and stay relevant, so they don't go the way of Blockbuster. Okay.
Down the oligopoly.
That's we're getting to half an hour now.
To say oligopoly in every show. Why is that?
That's our rally. Down the oligopoly.
We're gonna have to stop this now. I gotta get back to work, and it's the middle of the day on Friday right now, and my lunchtime. But I gotta get back to work. These guys had the day off, so let's go ahead and close things up here a little bit. And I don't like going over half an hour because then people start droning off and not listening anymore. Maybe they do after 5 minutes.
I stopped listening 5 minutes ago.
Good. So let's go ahead and finish this up. I thank you very much again for watching and liking, commenting on the video. Go check out weeklygeeknewsshow.tumblr.com, and throughout the week I will be posting new things that we'll be talking about next Friday. So if you want to follow along, also let me know. Do you want me to keep doing it by myself, just talking to myself in my bedroom, or would you like me coming over here and talking with Philip and Aaron? Do you like having 3 people doing a conversation? Let me know. I like discussing this more with everybody else.
Vote us off the show.
Yeah, exactly. If you get some value out of the show, the best way you can support us is sharing it with other people, because if we see that more and more people are watching the show and liking it, it helps us know that we want to keep doing it as well. It makes us feel a little bit better about ourselves. So you can have a voice in what we talk about next week. Go ahead and give me an email at weeklygeeknewsshow@gmail.com, or write in comments below this video if you see anything that you think we should talk about next week. Just like Donovan did. Donovan, thank you very much.
Donovan.
And a show will be available hopefully next Friday. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend, and happy Valentine's Day.
Bye-bye, guys.